It was one of those bright Toronto mornings that make the city feel unusually hopeful. The air was cool but warming quickly in the sun. Streetcars hummed along Queen Street West. Delivery bikes weaved through traffic. Office workers carried coffee cups like survival gear and moved with the determined pace of people trying not to be late. Jack had arrived early on purpose. Before work, he liked sitting on the small patio outside a coffee shop near Queen West. It wasn't fancy, just a few metal tables, mismatched chairs, and planters trying their best against downtown life. But it had the thing he valued most in a city, a front row seat to people. Dressed in a navy suit and tie, with his briefcase resting beside his chair, Jack wrapped his hands around a large black coffee and watched the morning unfold. A cyclist nearly clipped a taxi. A barista dragged out a chalkboard sign. Someone in a suit sprinted for a streetcar and somehow made it. Toronto looked chaotic from up close, but from the patio, it all blended into something almost rhythmic. Then he heard a voice behind him. "Jack?" He looked up. Standing there was a woman he hadn't seen in years. She had light brown hair pulled neatly behind her shoulders, stylish glasses, and the polished appearance of someone heading into an important meeting. A tailored blazer sat over a simple blouse, and a laptop bag rested comfortably on her shoulder. "Cindy?" She laughed. "Okay, good. I was worried you'd have no idea who I was." Of course he remembered her. 3 years earlier, they'd matched on a dating app and met for coffee not far from where they were standing now. The date had been easy and pleasant, good conversation, no awkward pauses, a lot of laughing about Toronto weather and transit disasters. A few days later, Jack sent a follow-up text. No reply. That had been the end of it. Or so he thought. Now Cindy was standing beside his table with the same warm smile he remembered. "Mind if I join you for a minute? My coffee order's taking forever." Jack gestured toward the empty chair. "Sure." She sat down and set her laptop bag beside her chair. For a moment, they simply watched the street together. The city was fully awake now, construction noise, conversations, espresso machines, and streetcars all layering into the familiar downtown soundtrack. "Still coming here before work?" she asked. "Most mornings, it's cheaper than therapy." She laughed. "Honestly, fair." They talked easily. About jobs, about how Toronto had somehow become even busier, about friends moving away, rising rents, and the strange comfort of familiar neighborhood routines. Then Cindy became unexpectedly serious. "I've actually wanted to apologize for a long time." Jack raised an eyebrow. "The disappearing act after our coffee date?" she said. "I handled that badly." Jack smiled lightly. "You mean the legendary unanswered text?" "Exactly that." She looked down at her coffee cup for a second before continuing. "The truth is, I had just gotten out of a relationship. I thought I was ready to date again, but I really wasn't. You were kind. The date was genuinely good, and that actually made it harder. I didn't know how to explain where my head was, so I avoided it. Which wasn't fair." Jack took a sip of coffee. "It's okay. Life moves." "I know. But still, you deserved a reply." The funny thing was, he hadn't spent years wondering about it. The unanswered text had become one of those small, unfinished moments people collect without noticing. But hearing her explain it changed the shape of the memory. Not every silence is rejection. Sometimes people are just carrying something you can't see. Cindy's drink finally arrived and she stood to go. "I'm glad I ran into you," she said. "Me too." She smiled and disappeared into the current of Queen West commuters. Jack sat back in the morning sun and watched another streetcar roll past. Sometimes closure doesn't arrive with a perfect conversation. Sometimes it arrives on a weekday morning, over coffee, just before work.